Dating is cute, the butterflies and everything, until it gets serious. Then comes the work and marriage, even more refining. Today, we're diving more into our dating season and some of our personal stories to help you while you're in a dating season. So let's jump right into it. We're not talking about marriage yet because we have not yet experienced the fullness of marriage or half of marriage. So we're not talking about it yet. But let's jump right into it and know more about T and I. See you. Just like you heard from our intro, we are talking about our relationship, and we're talking about all the things that happened in our relationship up until now. This is a bit of intimate conversation, so it's not gonna be like the normal conversation. It's gonna be intimate and a bit personal. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dating before our marriage. Our date period was beautiful and had a lot of ups and downs, anyways. But I'm really grateful for the journey we went through, our dating, and also all that, experience is what has brought us to till this point. And I feel like there's a lot of lessons we've learned from our dating period down to this point. And just taking our time to reflect on our dating. It wasn't easy, I'll be honest, but it was worth it, throughout the whole thing. And I remember how we started. I remember the first time we even met. Um, we were not really friends. I think I was a friend to one of your friend. Yeah, and I was like, I don't even like you, and you're like, you don't even like me, and that kind of thing. But along the line, we became friends, and I asked you out, and you couldn't resist all this face charming, stuff. And you gave me a yes, and we started dating. And as soon as we started dating, what looked beautiful started having a lot of hiccups. We couldn't, all of a sudden, communication was a problem, understanding, me not really giving so much, not committing to our relationship as I should, and to like give me a lot of headaches and all that. Our relationship was really an experience that molded me to be a better man. And I'm saying that not just because of a few good experiences, but also the ups and the downs and the difficult times. I have a lot I want to say, but let just let me just ask you, anyways, how did you feel with our relationship?
I feel like if our relationship was a place to be an island for me, it has coconuts, which is nice. Then it has seawater, which has endless pit, and you feel like, am I gonna drink the salt for a long time? Am I gonna drown? Then it has the land, and it has the mountains, then it has the rainfall, then it has the plants, which I love plants. So that was our relationship. It was a lot in one bottle. But I feel like in all the experiences of our relationship, God was still there. It was not the regular relationships, or let me say, it was not the relationship that I previously had before the one we had. You understand? And to think of saying I had a Christian relationship, you understand? Celibacy, all those things, putting God in the middle. Personally, the walk with God is not easy. And now God telling you this is where you're supposed to be. And sometimes what's usually in your other relationship you would have gone out of, or you would have said this is a red flag, or this is a green flag, or this is something. Sometimes what in the worldly relationship is a green flag, in the relationship, in a Christian relationship, is a red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, I can say that at some point. I know you said as a red flag. That in our dating time, when I this guy, the red flag goes. And at some point, I think I also felt like, oh, you're a red flag for me, because I'm like, I can't put up with you. You understand? But not being able to probably put up with somebody most of the times is because of lack of understanding. And I would say I didn't understand you. And also at that time, I wasn't ready to understand you. You know. But what's really caused that pivot in our relationship was when I could really like have the openness to want to really understand you, and probably why you react the way you react. And that just like, turn things around, you know. It's really sensitive for us, and it's making me all emotional.
Yeah, it is. I mean, would I say I was given the grace to understand you.
Who gave me the grace?
God, you understand. Even though in my human sense you were a big red flag.
Child.
Still
How big was I? Super big.
big. Instead, come to think of the fact that I never saw myself dating Tosin. And the Holy Spirit telling you this is him. And now the him that he's telling you is not the him you pictured. Understand? But one thing my mommy reminded me of when I told her I was dating a Nigerian, she said, do you remember that you used to pray that to God, I'll marry a white man or a Nigerian? And you used to describe the white man. Let me just say this. I dated all the white men I prayed about. Let me not lie. I dated all the white men I prayed about. But my mommy said, when you used to say the Nigerian, you didn't used to describe the Nigerian. You used to just say Nigerian. And God said, okay, fine. Now that you dated all the white men, here comes a Nigerian, the one that you didn't describe. But I'm going to give you something. You understand? And that something does not look like a something. But one thing a friend told me is that sometimes what we think we want is not what we need in the future. But what we think we don't want is what is needful in the future.
Maybe what we need. Yeah. I think you're more of a need in my life than just a want. And the other side, I think I just wanted you, but I didn't see how much I needed you. You understand?
What did I mean, listen? Like, but I already told you I was celibate.
Oh, not even in that sense, but like I just I wanted you. But what I was talking about, you were once in the early part of the relationship, but I didn't see you as a need. You understand? It took me a while to see the need of you in my life. You understand? And I would say to me, you bring so much balance and grounding. I used to be more like everywhere, but having you in my life, I just really just helped me stay grounded. And I really appreciate you for that. It's just been a journey growing together and understanding ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's not like we've gotten it 100%, you understand? But I think what keeps us going is that we're always willing to review, we vet, and we adjust. That has just been what has brought us even down to this point. You get being honest about how we feel. Oh, we did it this way, doesn't make me comfortable. You were wrong in this place.
I feel like with communication, I was more open.
Yeah, I think you were more open to communicate. I felt at some point that you couldn't handle the truth, so I didn't want to communicate like entirely clearly, I would say. Or I don't want to communicate like clearly because I felt that you were not going to be able to understand what I was trying to tell you. But that was also frustrating you in our relationship.
But I always wanted the truth. It's only I couldn't handle the truth. I couldn't handle half truth. And I used to tell you this, a half truth is a lie to me.
Yeah, I remember.
Understand? Yeah. Or a delayed truth is a lie to me. Understand? Don't wait for me to find out before you tell me that I was about to tell you. That's a lie. You were not telling me. Or don't tell me half of the story and leave half. You understand? And you felt like doing that would protect me, but no, that's not me. And then also another thing is you felt like also doing that, okay, I'm trying to do this, I know this is the person, I am the type of person that if I feel like, okay, you attacked me, I'm gonna come straight to you and let you know that you attacked me and this is how I feel about you. You understand? And I also feel like you were also doing that to avoid a lot of chaos happening. You understand? And it was frustrating me because just let me be me. And don't treat me like a baby. Treat me like an adult. You understand?
If I was babying you too much.
Yeah, and coming from where I'm coming from a place where you're taught to have the uncomfortable conversations. You're taught to open up about your truth. You're taught to open up about the honest truth, even though it's better. You understand?
And it makes you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. And one thing I realized about you and I that was different is that you were taught to keep quiet. I was taught to speak. You get it? So it was a battle for us. So you were treating me like how you were
Raised.
yeah. But I was not raised like that. And it was frustrating me. So it was letting the communication be a lot of problem. You understand?
Okay. So let me just touch on this. I know we had a lot of ups and downs in our relationship. So to you, what was one red flag and one green flag? I mean, the red flag got it tied. The green flag made it say, okay, let's go ahead.
So I'm going to say the red flag. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but the truth is, the red flag I've heard about you is being a mommy's boy.
I was mommy's boy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And the green flag is the patience you had. You understand? I didn't like the idea of mommy's boy. I really don't like it.
Yeah.
I really still don't like it. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know I was a mommy's boy, but I was, to a large extent. I think it takes a while for men who also grew up with your mom, to realize that mommy's boys, you say, because I was finding it hard to distinguish between between I and my partner and this is I and my mom. Something I heard a time ago, in on a podcast I heard, he said, if you have a partner, you don't outsource that role to another person. And it's funny how most times, in the place of, not fully recognizing, you'll be outsourcing the role of your partner to another person and you'll be frustrating them in the relationship. And this happens to a lot of people, from African homes, anyone from, wherever. Yeah, it's not just like an African thing, but majority is mostly an African thing on this side.
Yeah, it's actually an African poem.
Yeah, but when you really like break out to be a man is when you find your own voice, your own sound, your own person, without associate that with probably your mother, your father, whatsoever. You understand? And I had to realize that I had to make my own stand in my home and also in my relationship. You understand? And if you're still a mommy's boy, in your relationship, you would frustrate your partner. And I could see how that toll took on you. Do you understand? And I apologize again. I'm really sorry for what happened.
No, I'm fine. I love your mom.
Oh yeah, I know you do. I know you.
But
I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I think it's a place of the man most times to like draw the line. You understand?
I feel like that's something that's before any man gets into a relationship. If you know that you're a mommy's boy, like really be honest. Is it everything you tell your mom? Is it everything? I feel like that's something you have to also start working on before you enter into a relationship.
Yes,
so that you don't put your partner and your mom in a place of rivalry.
Yeah, 100%. Yes, I agree with you on that. But there is much we don't recognize it, there must be not recognize.
Because my mom, she did a lot for me. I mean, we acknowledge the fact that your mom did a lot for you. You will be modest too.
I remember, but let's just share some story, and I hope it doesn't make you feel offended anyway. I remember the time you cooked for me, and I was like, my mom doesn't cook this way. And you were like, go and marry your mother.
I mean, mommy, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but
Oh my god, that was so funny. I was like, I see, it's just because I was like, trying is my mother's benchmark if I didn't date you. I couldn't appreciate you. You understand? And I feel every man who is dating a woman, your mother shouldn't be the benchmark. See your partner for who they truly are and see how you can contribute, in making them better. It's not going to be easy, but trust me, if you can just go through that milestone, to be worth the ride. To be worth the ride. And I'm glad.
But do you love my food?
Oh, I love your food, though, Charlie. Your food number one. Tabio. Yeah. Somebody was asking me between Ghana jollof and Nigerian jollof. Which one did I like? My wife jollof. Sharp.
But yeah. And also talking of let's just put mothers even a girl, if you're a daddy's girl, you have to also learn how to come out of that before you enter into a relationship, because it's going to be the same way. You understand? And if you're dating a man, for instance, when I was dating Tosin, he was not taking the amount he was taking. You understand now? And if I had compared my daddy and Tosin, you understand, or compare the men that are daddy figures in my life and Tosin, I'd probably not see the full potentials of Tosin. He's a growing man. I didn't see my daddy in that stage. You understand? So I cannot compare Tosin and my dad. And so if you are a girl too and you're a daddy's child or a daddy's girl, you have to come out of that aspect and realize that you're going to be with another man. We not your daddy. And your daddy has taken a lot of time in his life to build his life to that extent where he feeds you comfortably. Understand? And then he always has access to enough money. And he always has enough access to people and connect you. This is a guy that is also building that potentially he will become like that to a daughter. And then to you, and maybe not now, but maybe as life goes on, hopefully very soon. You understand? And you see him in your daddy's light, and then it blinds you from his full potential.
Just like add to what you're saying, I feel majority of the times that the child just come to meet the already made version of their parents. That, oh my God, is my dad, he sold this, he sold that, my mom, she sold this, she sold that. But most times you didn't see them when they were having that struggle, where they were not something that you're even proud of. You get the idea. And I feel also not to put so much pressure, there should be that grace, for the partner, if you're dating. But just to touch on what you spoke about being a daddy's girl or a mommy's boy, I feel in the early stage of dating, there have to be a certain sense of guidance and covering. So I feel it is okay, let me get a thought on this, to inform maybe your parents or your authority of who you are trying to see. You understand? I think one, for safety and for guidance. You understand? There are certain things you can experience in that euphoric state whereby you're really excited about the relationship, as it's all rainbows and sunshines, and you might not really see clearly, but your parents or your overseer can point out some things to you, or better still, give you a better direction. But in the journey of going through that relationship, you're able to tell, okay, at this point, I have also matured to an extent, and now I can handle this with my partner without a third party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's my opinion,
Yeah.
I kind of don't agree.
That's fine.
I kind of feel like parents are sensitive to their kids.
Oh yeah, they
You
are.
get it?
Yeah.
And no matter how you feel, as when you bring your parent into, because I told my mom that I was dating you after a year. I didn't tell my mom immediately.
Okay.
You understand? And also being it from how I grew up, we're allowed to make our mistakes and experience life by ourselves. You understand? Yes, they trained us trusting us that whatever life throws at you, you can handle it.
Okay, maybe from the context of where I'm speaking from, maybe for a certain age.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, but what age should you be dating? Honestly, if you're listening to this and you're my child and you have not yet come, not that you're going to date at age 21 or, let me be very honest.
What about at 15?
She's mad.
16?
She's crazy.
17?
She's
18?
out of best essence.
19?
Please.
My daughter.
Still finding God. But you see, like, have somebody that is neutral and it can be a mentor so that he does not listen to you from the perspective of my child.
Yes.
You understand? Because sometimes parents pamper their kids to the extent that even though they know solely that their child is wrong here,
Yes.
able to tell their kids that you are wrong, they just want to say, you know what, if you're not okay with it, just move. But probably a mentor is going to tell you that this is a training field.
Okay,
you need to.
so I agree with you. Maybe get somebody neutral.
Yeah.
Neutral.
So I don't agree with parents.
Okay, I think this guy is not a parent person.
I love my parents.
100%. I know that.
But I I love to experience life for myself. My parents are people I didn't get to choose. They brought me to this world. I respect them.
Yeah.
But I want to choose my mentors. Don't force yourself as a mentor on me.
I agree on that.
Don't.
Yeah, I agree on that.
I want, the mentors are people I want to be like. If I don't want to be like you, you're not my mentor. I happen to have my parents' genetics. It's enough. I'm going to be like them. They understand through genetics.
Yeah.
But who I want to role model after is not my parents.
Right.
I love them, but I get to pick my mentors.
Yeah.
So don't force yourself as a mentor on me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, speaking on the mentorship, I feel I want to bring this back to the Holy Spirit and God. The greatest mentor is the Holy Spirit, to guide a relationship. And you see how our relationship went. I want to say that to be the blueprint for everybody. Every relationship is unique to its outcome. And I feel when you haven't caught or dating someone, the foundation should be God. We understand, because what worked for this relationship might not work for your relationship. You understand? So if you want to use someone's relationship pattern to determine the outcome of your own marriage, most of the times you can miss it. You understand? And if I had tried to use that, I would have probably would have never ended up together. It gets. I think red flags and green flags. As in, I think this is my belief. I believe everybody has red flags and green flags. And what is red to a person might not be red to another person, might be green for another person. Anyways, it just
I mean, like, for instance, there's some people that are okay with cheating. There are some people that are not okay with cheating.
being okay or not okay, that's a red flag.
You understand? No, but we're not going to, in terms of what is red flag to your
Yeah, I'm okay. Yes, yeah. I mean, like that's it too.
One thing I want to ask you that
Yes.
do you think just having the Holy Spirit is a good thing?
Yeah.
It's the most important thing. Do you think it is important to have a conviction, like have a revelation to be with a person individually, or just one person saying it is enough based on how our relationship went?
I think both parties have to really have that conviction. If it's just one person, it frustrates the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, it really does. And also looking at that for my relationship, when both parties involved are both clear about their relationship, both physically and spiritually, it makes the union of the relationship much more smooth. You understand? If one party heard from God and the other party didn't hear from God, no, it's going to be a roller coaster. And because somebody be like, probably you're forcing yourself on me. One might be like, probably, I don't want to do this. You understand? One might be like, is it that I'm doing too much for this person? He gets. But if both parties are clear, both physical and spiritually, on their stand on the stand of their relationship, then they can now like proceed. And even before you proceed even from marriage, marriage is never about the love or those inferior feelings. It's all faith. So we marry for a purpose. You understand? If you're not clear on your part and your assignment on what you really want to do, I don't think you should get married, because the feeling of the love, all that ethereal, or all that like butterfly feelings, they will come, they will go, they will come, they will go. You understand? But what really keeps it is the friendship, the assignment. They understand. That's what really keeps it.
Speaking of and have your convictions, yeah, it's something I really want to talk about. Like Bible says, do not be unequally yoked.
Yeah.
Based on our relationship, I've come to learn a lot of things. Unequally yoked does not mean a Muslim and a Christian marriage.
Yeah.
Unequally yoked can even mean a charismatic and a Catholic marriage.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Because based on our relationship, like there were certain things coming from where I come from, I believed in as a Christian that you didn't believe in.
Even the way I prayed and the way you prayed, it's totally different. This guy's fire, Lord.
Listen, it's two different things, because I believe one thing about me is that I'm a charismatic Christian. I believe in praying all kinds of prayer. I don't believe in only declarations.
Yeah.
I don't believe in acting like the other aspect of life is not there. and it's well with my soul that you end up being in a denial state. That way you don't even identify that why I'm suffering and I need help from God. And I need to change how I'm praying. You understand? There's something I personally believe in. If you pray and it doesn't work, sacrifice. If you sacrifice and it doesn't work, fast. If you fast and it doesn't work, you understand, worship. You get it? I have that formula for my personal life. You understand? But on Equally Yoked Day, it's not just being a Muslim and being a Christian, because sometimes how a person believes or how a person's Christian lifestyle is, it blocks them from hearing God. There are some people, they don't believe that even hearing God is a thing. Yeah. You understand? They believe that I read my Bible, I close my Bible, that is enough. You understand? There are some people, they don't believe in prophecies. There are some people, they believe that confess I am well and I'm good and everything, and that is enough. You understand? There's confession. There's a place for confessing, and there's a place where you have to put in works. You understand? But if you don't balance all those things and you don't find a person that has the same beliefs as you suffer. You really go through a lot of hardships, and you really go through a lot of problems. You understand? Because when you feel like both of us should hear God as at this time, the other person does not have discernment to hear God.
Yeah.
So you end up being like, what's happening? What's up? What kind of person am I with? You understand?
I mean, two people can be going to the same church and they are unequally yoked. That's the honest truth. So, you just really find and trust the Holy Spirit for direction to have a partner that is actually on the same page with you. Because it's very sensitive matter, and there's so much I wish we could talk on this, but time is really.
Let me just ask one last question. Do you think it was worth it? So far as we are, I'll ask you maybe after 10 years or 1 year of our relationship, do you think it's worth it? Or was worth it? 1 year of our marriage, sorry.
Okay, so that's anniversary. So far, I said every bit of it was worth it. I think all that ups and downs, is actually what brought us to where we are today.
Do you think if you had died and you come back to this world and you meet me again, would you do this again?
Where do women come up with all these questions from? Eh? I don't. That's that.
Accent.
Any life I find myself, I always choose you.
Okay.
Are you happy?
Would you want to ask me?
Ask you. Okay. Okay, let me ask you a question.
Some questions.
Okay, so before we, if you had a chance to do this all over again, would you?
Yes, I would. No, relax. I would.
Okay.
But I'll do it with and no mommy's baby tosin.
Oh Lord, have mercy. Yeah. But yeah. So what is one thing you've come to love about me, or you are really proud of so far?
I'm proud of the fact that you're genuine on making decisions for yourself with God. That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of you making decisions for yourself with God. Because I feel like there's no better person that knows us more than God.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
That's one I'm proud of. So guys, disclaimer, we're not professionals. This is not the benchmark for how a relationship should go.
Yeah, not a benchmark. I mean, every relationship is unique to its own process and outcome. So just honestly rely on God, and also just keep learning on the journey. I think people will learn from also in the early stage of Pastor Kingsley, and Pastor Mildred.
We learn from Pastor Kingsley and Pastor Mildred. We learn from Apostle and his wife.
Yeah.
We also learn from our counselor.
Counselor was really a blessing. Yes.
Her husband.
Yeah, it's really a blessing.
We learn from Pastor Stephanie Ike Okafo, and then we also learn from Yeah, that was the people.
Yeah, I mean, those you can remember for now anymore. I mean, quite a number of people. So I think this journey of cutting or getting to married, it's all about learning, but just having that willingness to become better, not just for yourself, but also for your partner. You understand, and also for the children one might have. So yeah, I mean, that's a wrap. I mean, we'll talk about this maybe some other time again. We probably with a bit more meats and details, and we can all learn and go together. Like I said, we're just learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cheers. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you, and bye bye.